Today we are redressing the mills at One Mighty Mill. After several thousand tons of grains necessary to sharpen the stones.
We're basically dealing with two granite stones, and they're going to be grinding against each other. Every 6 months, you're going to have to get them back to where they were. You know, it's a reality. It's an additional cost to what we're doing, but we think it kind of is worth it.
Doing it this way, we're not stripping all the nutrients, all the minerals, all the good stuff in the wheat, you know, our body needs.
I'll be honest, I haven't been able to go back and get any other bread from the supermarket. I'm telling you, we will get addicted, trust me.
We are in Blauvelt, New York, which is 5 miles from where we bake our bagels and maybe 10 miles from where we make our bread. What we're trying to do is take something that's been done for centuries and scale it up. And that creates unique challenges. We're taking a whole day off here to redress all these stones to get the ideal amount of flour, the right spec out of there. And that's going to save us costs because we'll be more efficient, but also the product should taste better. So anything we can do to make our products taste better and look better and be consistent is a good investment on our part. Andrew Hine is our mill builder, and he's an expert in how to get these things optimally running. And so we're going to learn as much as we can from him to be able to do it ourselves.
So the next step is we've roughed everything up, but we still have to make sure that they're even. So we're gonna put the stones together and run them at half speed. So they're just touching and skimming. And anywhere that might still be high or that's not rough, it'll polish again. And then we'll have to hammer it again to make them so they're true. What'll happen is the sound will go quieter and quieter as it rubs away, and then we go maybe a little tighter, until it sounds. And then we take it apart, and not everywhere, but just the spots that are smooth. Yeah. And one more time. So it's a couple minutes. It's different, yeah.
I wanted to be here today just to learn what's happening and what the challenges are, because, you know, I know it's not easy, and sometimes you can look at things on a spreadsheet and say, why is our production not high enough? And now I can understand, like, well, maybe the mills were offset a little bit, or maybe there's this or that. And so a little bit of understanding will go a long way.
What are you listening for? Most of it's touching?
Yeah, just like a smooth, kind of consistent sound. Once you hear that galloping, that's like it's hitting and, you know, it's either hitting in one spot, depending, or if it's, you know, you kind of tell if it's rocking or if the stone is good or something. But
and if wheat was coming through there, you wouldn't hear it, because that's in between.
Yeah, it's kind of a different sound. You're not going to hear stone. You're not going to smell stone either. Like you kind of smell that like this hot minerally kind of smell.
We have not had as much production out of the mills per hour, like flour produced per hour, as we thought we would. What we want to do is understand what is the best that we can do with these mills based on Andrew's recommendations and getting everything where it really would be optimized.
So can you, I don't know if she showed you tests where we're basically like a mixing tolerance between what we're getting, same wheat, milled in Hyde Park versus here, moderately worse here, and we're trying to figure out why.
Oh, weird. The sifter in Hyde Park will tend to force more of the flour through, whereas this type, you know, it sits on top until it falls through.
I'm here kind of a fact-finding mission to then say, okay, how do we invest in additional mills? Like, do we add capacity to these? Do we do a whole nother mill setup? Because we think we're going to grow a lot, so that, you know, if we're going to be $50 million of revenue from 10 this year, you know, how do we actually achieve that? So it's kind of more of the long-term planning. After the whole stone is roughed, we want to make sure that they're true to each other. So if there's any spot that we missed and it's still a little bit high, we run them against each other, and a high spot is going to polish and get smooth again. And so we'll go back and look at this and mark it wherever we missed and hammer it. And then it's good.
The reason why we had to get the redressing done, our stones needed it, and how it was done in the past, it wasn't done correctly. There was more high and lows throughout the stones that made it very inconsistent when we were milling. So we saw those inconsistencies in our flour as well, which we test with the lab equipment that Karima's responsible for.
My name is Garima. I run the quality control department, anything and everything related to making sure our processes are right. We are following everything that's organic, mandated, making sure our bread's produced in the right facility under right circumstances, so the facility is clean. It's meeting the specs in terms of weight, height, how it looks. I think most of essential part of my job is to make sure that the flour is right. So we have the 2 machines in there. It starts right when we start sourcing the wheat. So making sure whatever wheat we are receiving, it's under the right spec. And then when we start milling it, whatever these guys are milling is meeting our spec based on the end product. Then we have dough labs, so we run dough labs, review the dough lab results, make sure our flour is good for every run. And if something is not right, going back to the mixers and telling them what they can do. Do they need to add water? Do they need to add, mix less, proof more? Like, what do we need to do?
After we redress the mills, it's important to run some wheat through them to remove any extra stone grit that was left in the mills. To do that, we'll hook them back up to the system, power them up to full speed, and run about 50 to 100 pounds of wheat through.
As you can see, we are taking out the flour in 3 different streams. There's main flour, there's middlings, and there's bran. So there's Andrew. He's looking for if there's any kind of stone grits in our flour or in our middlings or in our bran. And we have looked for the bran looks much finer, which is what we wanted, which means all the dressing that we've been doing this morning, it is working. The mills are removing the bran more effectively, and it's being crushed properly. And then where Andrew is back there, we are getting middlings. There was a chance we could see some kind of stone grits in there, but he's saying he didn't find any, and we didn't find any in our flour as well. So we are good to mill tomorrow.
This is a process that industrial bread companies have abandoned because it's too hard, and they want to simplify things through a highly industrialized process of making flour. If we get this right, it's something that not everyone else is going to be able to do, and we're going to make a great tasting product. And we want to invite all of our retail customers and also our households eating our product to come here. Maybe not on maintenance day, but on a day where we're milling, and kind of learn from us and see what we're doing, and share that information to their friends and family.